Hello everyone, welcome, happy new year my friends. It's 1st of January 2022 and I've decided that this is gonna be a great day to actually share with you my crafty space. I've been saying that several times that I'm gonna do it, but I was always postponing it. But this year I'm gonna do all those things which I've had in my mind for a very long time and I was always postponing it. So we're gonna start from showing you my space. However, before I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'll show you my space, I just want to let you know, my friends, that I do craft for 10 years. I've been doing it daily basis now. I work in some design teams, I design papers myself, and most of everything I had two most incredible things happen to me because several years ago one of the ladies who had the local craft sewing store, she decided to go on retirement, and I've managed to outbuy the whole paper crafting section from her store. And later on, I think around 3 years ago as well, I've also meet another retired art teacher who also, because she wasn't crafting as much, she passed along a lot of the goodies to me as well. So I had this incredible blessing. So that's why what you will see, I do have quite a lot of different things. But please do not feel yourself intimidated. Do not compare my space to your space. Do not feel like if you don't have as many goodies that you still have to grow your space, or you're gonna be missing out anything. There is so many beautiful talented crafters out there. So many of them have just a fraction of the products I do have here, and they are far greater successful. So it's not always the case. I just want to let you know, this was my personal story. I had this incredible luck that I've managed to gather so many beautiful, wonderful things which helping me in my everyday work. But it's not always the case that you have to have so many goodies, so many papers. I still, even now, I think I'm going to the point where I feel that some of the things really need to have to be downsizes because they just overgrow massively. But you're gonna see it in a second, and I hope you will enjoy it. So my friends, this is what you see once you enter my beautiful crafty space. This is not a pristine from catalog. I have all the furniture from different places. Some of them are bought used, some of them I've bought in IKEA, but this is my place. I cannot imagine myself to be without a crafting corner. I've been blessed enough that I have this room just for myself, so this is how it looks in the overall view. And in a second I'll just show you this a little bit more in the detail. Now I'm starting off I'm sorry I'm spinning the camera around. Now once we walk in, I do have this IKEA Raskog with the Gemini machine, which I can always pull in. Over there I've got a couple of random bits. Actually they still need to be organized. I have my bike, which I'm keep promising myself to be more regular in doing exercise, but it's life. It's not no we all know how it is. Now I've just cleaned this board the other day, and what I've put here, I don't know if you can see it well, it's a craft room tour with the exclamation point to do on the 1st of January, which I'm filming today, and I will release it today as well. Here I have this a huge amount of the wallpapers which I'm using in various things. Some of them are leftovers from the time they were closing out the store. We had a home-based store in our town, but it's been closed now, so I do have quite a lot of these. I'm using them as a liner for my little spray shop, which is just a simple cardboard, but I'm lining them with the pieces, and I could spray little elements and don't have to worry about making mess. And I also use some of the wallpapers as the backdrops for my little photography bed, which I'll show you in the details in a second. I do have two large storage these drawers from IKEA,
This is this Alex set. I have some random bits and a couple of the mess over there, so I'm not going to show you all the drawers, but the thing I want to show you, and this is absolutely like crazy, I'm just ashamed to even show you that, but I do have the drawer designated for the scraps, and I have excessive amount of the scraps. I feel like I'm always struggling to departure with every tiniest bit of the paper. I'm trying to preserve all of that, so I do categorize them in the like a rainbow color order, like a yellow, pink, red. I've got some black, some blues, some green colors, so anything I start, I've cut the page. I'll keep it because I can always like punch some leaves or do it from anything else later on, but I'll keep saying I'll be coming back, but this year I'm definitely gonna be playing up with the scraps because I do have a couple ideas, and I'll be making a lot more cards with them. I do have the whole mess here, which I didn't manage to clean up. I've spent a few last days. I had this break between the Christmas and the New Year. I did a little bit clean up there as well. So this section still need to be reorganized, and I don't even think if I want to keep it over there, but we'll see. I'll have to rethink. Now, one thing I want to tell you, my friends, this place, I do have some beds which should be like closer together, but they're like a little bit here, a little bit there. But please bear in mind this, my friends, that when I was moving to this flat, this was supposed to be our temporary setup for only a few months. However, the lockdown situation and everything was going on, it made us stay a little bit longer. So that's why when I was moving in here, in the first place, I've just dropped the stuff without even consideration, because in my mind I was just staying here for a few months. But because I'm working here regularly, I've decided to do a little bit more organization, but I'm not gonna be reorganizing it fully till the things I want them to be, because it's not gonna have a point, because I'm not gonna stay as long here. So here I do have some ribbons. I've came up recently with some system and I've started implementing it. I've got 1.5 basket done, and then I will be getting over to the rest. And let me just grab that and show you this. And for a very long time I had the trouble how to store my ribbons, because they come in different sizes, lengths, and this is what I came up with. And so far I'm super happy with it, and I'm planning to put it on the rest of the ribbons as well. So it's very easy access. I keep them stored on those little like beer mat boards. It's like a cardboard pieces, and it's just matching this shoe boxes perfectly, and I can have a clear view what colors I have, how much do I have, and it's easy to find. And in case my collection will grow, I have more red stones or something, I could easily add it and then move the rest to another boxes, so it will be easy. And this way I will have everything in one place. I just have to get some spare time, extra time to finish the rest. Now, this is how I store my dies. I keep them in those pocket sleeves. I actually have one out just to show you. So I keep them like that. Same, I'm using the same method. The beer mats, they come in handy and they are very inexpensive. And I stick some magnets, and this is very strong magnets. This is this motor grade one, so it's a little bit thicker, but thanks to that, if I'm gonna drop it or anything like that, nothing comes off. You have to actually slide the die from the pieces so they could come off. So I've did that. Most of my dice, I still have 2 boxes left, but as I'm saying, I'm in the process. I was keeping them in those before, and I'll just quickly show you that this is one of it. Let me just wrap. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to film one hand, and this is how I was storing my dice before. I had them like marked in this Avril pockets, but because some of them are larger, some of them are smaller, I couldn't get the I didn't feel like this working for me, so I've just switched it, and this system seems to be far better working for me. Now down below I also have plenty of the dice. There's some stamps amongst here, but this is the exclusive brands from the Craft Stash, and I do work for Craft Stash. I'm in their design team, so I keep the boxes for the reference whenever I need to go back or refer to to any of their product. I like to keep the original packaging. Here on the sides I do have my large embossing folders, so I do have a few of them, and not too many, but it's enough to actually provide me with different texture. And I do have a lot of a little one. The vast majority of those embossing folders, these are the free folders coming from the magazines, but I also have some other, like We Are Memory Keepers or Crafter's Companion. A few of them I've bought myself, but most of them I have, they are coming from the magazines. I do had this incredible luck. The crafting lady I was telling you about, she gave me this whole box, amongst the other things. She gave me this whole box. I've put them in a box, but what she gave me was all these like a border embossing folders, and they also have those matching triangles, and they are all coming from this tattred lace. So I do have per each style, I have the corner and the border as well. So I really like them, and I wish I will be playing with them a little bit more now. Two extra things I have here. I have my Arteza watercolor pencils here, and I also have some Spellbinder alcohol markers. I'm keeping them away because it's far away from my desk, and my son likes to come. He's 3-year-old, so he likes to come in, he's playing, he's sometimes drawing with me. So I keep those more cheap stuff beside the desk so he could use them, and the other one I'm just trying to keep farther away so he's not gonna be messing with these ones now. I do have, oh, this is the box filled with stencils, and I also recently purchased this make art board for the for stencils, which got this really strong magnet, and it has this magnetic rule, and that's really nice. I really like working with it. Doing lots of flowers. I actually sell my own handmade flowers, so this is my system. I've been cutting them, I've been shaping them, gluing them, creating everything, and even those elements you see here, I actually paint them. This is the flowers I've draw and paint, and then I've created a digital element out from it. So this is the bit. Here I have some chipboards, I have some quotes, I have some those chipboard elements. And one thing, for those of you who are here first time, I've been working 3 seasons with the Craft O'Clock company, so I do have quite a lot of the product, including all these chipboards, and I do have some papers here which I will go to in a second. But first, here's the 6x6 paper pads, my 8x8 papers, and I do have quite a lot of those hanky-dory booklets along with this A5 size papers. And this is the papers I received from the crafting lady, this retired art teacher. She gave me quite a lot of her craft room, and I've been really blessed with it. So definitely something I am enjoying using, and there's always so many beautiful papers. They come in quite handy for creating the quick cards, so I'm keeping those ones. I have the old Cricut machine also from her. I have this 3 binders filled with the dice as well, and this is something I have to organize and add to my other collection, but I didn't have the time to do so. I have some Cricut, this is this extra cartridges for cutting with the Cricut machine. I be honest, I received it before the Christmas from her, so I didn't had enough time to actually play with it, so it's still something I have to explore further down. I have 4 boxes with the stamps, and I don't have as many stamps. As a card maker, I'm actually not buying too many stamps because I'm not doing as much stamping and coloring as I would like to, but I do have some of them. Some of them I've bought myself, some of them are coming from the as a freebie from the magazines, and they all mess up because my son likes to come in. He likes to pick up the one with some nice images, like a lawn fawn or something like that. So he's always like messing around here. I have those 4 stacks of the magazines, and some of those magazines I do have 2 of each, and the reason behind that is that I'm creating some commission work to the magazines. So once I create something and it will be published in a magazine, we quite often get a free copy for ourselves. So if I have a subscription, sometimes I end up having doubles, and that's why some of them are still unopened, and I will be going over them shortly, and I will be selling some of my extra copies as well. And here I do have these 2 big retail display with the papers, and this is something I received from the few years back. I think it was 2014 when I outbought the crafting store, which was closed down in my town. So I received not only the papers, but the lady was kind enough, she gave me this retail storaging as well. And I had 3 tiers actually. This one, when I first bring it home, I've set it up to the height of the kallax, so this was below, and I had a 3 rows filled with the paper. So it was from 2014, so now I am down to 1 paper, but I still feel it's way too much, and I don't think I will be able ever to craft all of the paper I have. So here, as I've mentioned before, this is the section from the Craft O'Clock. I've been in their design team for 3 seasons, so I have quite a lot of their collection. Actually, I have all of their collections, but here's some basic papers. I've got some extra elements to cut. I store the collection, and this is the system I recommend to you quite. I cannot recommend it enough. This is the vinyl storage pockets. I've bought them in a magazine, in the Amazon, and they are meant to be for storing these vinyl records. So that's why they're 12 by 12 paper, but they fit perfectly all the 12 by 12 paper collections, and you can keep your scraps there, so you could have everything on one place. So this is it. And here I have some plain rainbow color papers. I have actually lots of those Kaban papers as well, and this was the part from the papers I've got from the store once it was closed. So I have that, and I do have some plain cardstock here. I have some blacks cardstock, some whites, some ivory cream color, and some craft color cardstock here as well. And here I have this quite a big collection of the papers from the magazines. I don't always get the chance to play up with all of them, so I keep holding and storing. So I think soon I will be definitely thinking of some kind of a downsizing. Now here I store some boxes. If I receive some order or anything in a box which I may reuse, I always stack it over here. And I also keep the original boxes for my equipment, because I know we're gonna be moving, so it's handy to keep them original packaging ready to be on the go. I have some paints, I have some glue, some random stuff here. Here I have some Hairflat creation. There's this molds, and I have a couple of their stamps which are matching the molds, so I keep it over here separately. And I also have my We Are Memory Keepers, this foil pen, and some extra other bits. Here I have my ready-made cardstock, card bases. This is a 6x6 and A6 size, the most common one I'm using. I also create lots of the DL size cards, but these ones I'm creating by myself, and the 8x8 one. I have some envelopes. I actually have two boxes filled with the envelopes. And here I keep my my beer mats. So this is like a cardboard. It's quite compressed comparing to the cardboards, but it's got this like a wooden feel. It's a little bit it's thin, but it's very, very strong, so it's not easy bendable. So that's why it's quite handy for all the 3D projects I'm creating, and also for some storing solutions. I have some ink refills, some sprays, and here is some random junk, so I'm not gonna be going over the drawer because it's all mess. Here are my handmade flowers. I do create quite a lot of these, so that was my Christmas poinsettia. I really like adding them to the cards because they add this nice touch, and I'm also planning to enlarge my collection for the four-mirror flowers, so I will be creating a little bit more of the four-mirror flowers, which I store here. That's my four-mirror. I have some extra flowers. Here it's the box with the mailing envelopes, and I have this little bag here. You see, this is the wadding, which this is the material you stuffen up your cushion or your jackets and things like that, but I use it in my crafting, and I've bought it from the eBay store, and I thought I'm buying I didn't realize how big amount I'm buying, because I thought it will be a smaller bit, but it was a whole roll of it, so I still have it. I've got some findings, some pine cones, different like branches, things I found, and I also bought a couple of those like extra filler sets, which I think it will be handy for creating some winter creations, and more like a nature one. I've got some sticks, other bits I'm finding, and bring it over here. I have some extra glue storage, some more like a tape, some adhesive, some spare foam tape rolls, things like that. I have a couple drawers of the junk as well, so I'm not gonna be showing them. This storage here, I'm not gonna be opening that because I do have some works which are not published there, some designs which are still to go, or some commission work, so I've keep everything over there, so it's easy for me to not get mistake and not show it. Now here it's all my sprinklers, like sequins, things like that I can use for shakers, and I also have some extra like pixie powders, like some what is it, like all the pigment powders. So I have a few of these and some eyeshadows, things like that I may use for the crafting. I have some glitter, I have some foil, and as I've mentioned before, there's not too much logic, because when I moved here at first I was just like, okay, I'll just need to get rid of the boxes to be able to work. And here I still have some random bits from my designing, from the packaging. I have to sort that drawer. I didn't have the time before. I have some of my album covers. I also have some spare plates down below. Beneath there will be some spare plates for my die cutting machines. And this is my desk. I have this 2-meter long desk from the IKEA, and I like that it has this drawer beside, because they're quite handy. So I'm keeping the most used stuff over here, and the first drawer is my embossing powders. I have my stamping platforms, I have the Tim Holtz, and I also have this Hampton by Art, which I really like as well, but the main reason why I switched to the Tim Holtz one was the fact that this one is not big enough for the cards I'm creating, so I had the trouble that not always paper was fitting over here. So here I have the embossing powder, some inks, some acrylic blocks. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to find the words today, but everything I have here, it's just on hand. This is the most used stuff in these drawers. Here I have some texture stamping, which are random stamps from my favorite, I don't know, I think this one was Kaiser Craft, one was from the magazine, and this one was from Paper Discovery, Olga. One of the Olga stamp, but I just keep them aside, so they're quite handy if I need some texture. And here I have some Spectrum Noir liquid glitter inks. I have my stamp cleaner. I have some little dewdrops. I don't have as many stamp ink pads because for the reason I've mentioned before, I mainly like working with the paper, with die cutting, with some things like that. I don't do as much stamping, so my ink pad collection, it's not It's not overly big, but it's absolutely enough for what I need. I have the distress inks, and I've bought them a few years ago. Actually, I've bought them before they even came up with the oxides. So I have almost all of them. I'm missing the newest collection color, but I have so many different colors to choose from that for now I wasn't even bothered by buying any of the new. I have this finger daubers, which I really like, but I didn't use all of the colors actually, so I still keep some of them clean in case I will need it. And here I have my glues. I have lots of the double-sided glue and some glue sticks. The hot glue is one of my staples in the creation, so I do buy those glue sticks in bulks. I have some other glues as well, some collal, some glossy accent, all-purpose, all sorts of the glues, some washi tape as well to adhere my dies and things like that. Here I have 2 more drawers filled with the ribbons, so I do have quite a lot of the ribbons. I love ribbons, so that's just me. I just love them. Anyway, going here up to my desk, I have this little storage space for the ink pads where I store my distress inks. I have a couple of the regular size inks as well, but I do have the few of the oxides, not too many, but it's quite handy having this shelf to be able to have a quick access. And because I don't have any rinkers, I keep the sponges here beside. This is a regular kitchen sponge, which are come in handy for crafting as well. I have some main used glue. I have this foam tape, which you've been seeing, and I have some black inks, some like a regular inks for stamping. Here I have those cheap watercolor markers I was telling you about. I have this beautiful collection of the gelatos, which I received from my dear friend Cindy, which I'm forever grateful her for that, because I love using them for coloring my flowers. I have something new I've just bought in a store. This is this metallic twin marker. They were £2.50 each, so I don't think they're gonna be super blendable and things like that, but I want to try them for the colors, and that will be something fun to use. And even if they don't blend too well, they will be great. I hope they will be great for coloring small stamped images. I have some Nuvo drops. I have this basket with the sprays, and to be honest, my friends, this is the whole collection. This is the whole section of the sprays I'm using. I do have quite a lot of the sprays bottles I was creating myself. I also have some like a Nuvo, mica mist, and other sprays amongst the these bottles, but these ones here are the one which I'm reaching the most, and I love these beautiful colors and the fact they're a little bit shiny, and they just absolutely gorgeous. So these ones here, I have some brown basic colors as well, and I keep everything on the hand. I have a couple of my favorite punches, and I have my camera arm. This is like a phone holder, because I don't use a camera. I film everything with my mobile phone, so I have this one click over here. I have some blending brushes, I have some brayers, some scissors, I have some other paint brushes, spray bottle, all these handy little things you may need while you're crafting. And then I have some other bits here, again some other like pens and things. I've got some chalky pastels and some more watercolor pens here. I also keep on a desk this box where I keep the every die I'm using. I'm just sliding over here so straight away, so I could put them back later on. I had some extra spare stuff I need to deal with. This is the Sizzix machine I've been using most often, and here I've got 2 lamps, and I've put some daylight bulbs on them, so it's a little bit brighter light for filming over the desk. But because the lamps are very low, I'm keeping them up high on the gesso packaging. At the other side of my desk, there's this big messy drawer filled with the jam, with some epoxy dots and some other like a half pearls things. Some I may need to add some bling to my project. And the other drawer is designated for more like a mixed media vibe. I've got some metal trinkets, some buttons, things like that. So all sorts of the things I could use in my mixed media creation. There's some keys. I have the whole packet with the metal key and other things as well, so I'm keeping them on hand. And here's this florist wire. You've been seeing me using it plenty times. I use it for tying up my bows and things like that. So they're very plasticky, they're very easy bendable, so I like to work with these. I've got some clay paper clay elements or some epoxy frames, things I can use in my projects. Now here I have lots of the flower centers, some stamens, anything I may use for creating my flowers. So I've got whole sections of them. Some of them I've bought in Poland when we were on holiday a couple years back, so I quite like using them. And some of them my mom actually bought me, so this one she sent me over as well. So I love them, and I think I'm gonna be creating lots of very pale baby girl flowers or things like that with these ones. So that's it. Here I have my florist sizzle, some laces, some chipboards. I do have quite a few behind the laces. I do have a quite a big collection of the chipboards, things like that, some wooden MDF shapes. So I stored these ones here. And then on the bottom drawer, if I'll just open that, I have my packaging, some like clear foils and things I could pack my cards. I have some postal boxes here, and I do have some postal boxes in the hallway as well. I have the whole box with another shape because it didn't fit here. This is my computer working desk. I have my printers. I have this laser printer and the inkjet printer for printing up all my needs. I also have some extra spare bits there. Here there's my tattered lace collection with the CDs. You can print the design, and there's also dice there. I have some couple like a tape for posting, some things like that. I have some lovely hand warmers made by my friend Cindy. Again, she's been sending me so many lovely goodies that I'm so grateful. So whenever it's cold, I can put that ones on. I have some folder with some documents. I have the tablet. I have the guillotine, which I keep farther away from my desk just in case my son will come in, so I don't want him to be near it. I have this computer, and this is the little computer I've bought used on eBay. And my friends, I recently received I just had a birthday after the Christmas, and the present I received from my husband was this beautiful drawing tablet. And unfortunately I cannot plug it in because there is no I need to wait till adapter. We order a specific adapter because this little desk computer, it doesn't have so many things to plug in as the normal standing tower for the regular PC. So this is unfortunate. I received the present a week ago, I think it was a week ago over the Christmas, but I haven't been able to use it and check it, so never mind. But I'm still happy, I'm super delighted. I have my watercolor paper, I have my calligraphy exercising books, I have my planners, and I have this lightening pad for drawing as well. Here is my little display of my favorite artworks I've did, and this one over here, the most plain one, is actually my logo, so I'm super proud of it. This was one of my first YouTube videos done as well. I think this one was actually the first one. And here, last but not least, this is the big unit. This is the G-Rack shelf I've bought, and they only had it in a black, steel, or red. And I think the red one was on a sale when I was buying it, so that's why I choose it. I like it because it's 2 feet wide, so it works perfectly with my brother's scan and cut machine. I could slide the mat all the way down, so it's not, so I don't have to pull the machine back and forth. Before I had this shelf, I was actually I had to put the machine on the desk anytime I had to do something, so it's quite handy that they're plug in, ready to go. And what I love the most about this shelf is it also works as my photo booth. I have this Amazon box as a stand because I like to keep my my cards a little bit raised up, and then I keep my little stand here, so I don't have to shake my hand. Like my hand is a little bit shaky, so that stand helped me to get a good photos. And I have those little like clamp lamps, which I've insert this special light for photography. It's a little bit stronger. It's a better lighting, and it gives me the better results when I photography. And this is a doorway. I have this little extra bit to check my parcels, and all of that above, this is my handmade cards, which I'm planning to put on my store. I just have to put the photos up, but it's never happening. So I hope this year I'll manage to do everything I have planned for. So this was my studio, this was my happy place. I hope you enjoy it. I also show you, I'm not sure if you're gonna be seeing it, it's probably not, but behind the car on the other side of the street, there's quite a big piece of the landfill. So my next neighbor are far away from me, and in this area over here, this is actually the place when they keep horses. So from time to time I have this amazing days when I could craft and I could see horses running on the grass right in front of me. So that's really something I really appreciate and I'm grateful for. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, or if you have any advices on how to get organized. If you see something, I still need to organize few things, which the most trouble I have are the stamps and these bottles. I have to come up with some idea, and definitely I think if I'll downsize some of the papers, I should have more space. But this is it. As I mentioned you before, this was the temporary setup for us, so I didn't thought I'll be here as long, but I'm still so happy and grateful and thankful, and especially to the owner for letting us stay longer. And yeah, so that was my space. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you all the best. Stay blessed. Happy 2022, and I hope this year will bring you everything you needed. I love you all. Sending you hugs, and bye bye.